I have a lot of questions about this album. Hey guys, it is CDTVProductions here, and today I'm going to be reacting to The Family by Brockhampton, but also possibly just by Kevin Abstract. I did see on Twitter today that they're apparently releasing a full group Brockhampton album tomorrow, or like at midnight tonight, and this is just the Kevin Abstract solo album, but it's marketed as a Brockhampton album. I don't know what's going to happen, but regardless, I'm extremely excited to listen to this. I'm a relatively new Brockhampton fan, a post-Ginger fan. Please keep your jokes about me being Ginger to yourself. This is not Ginger, okay? Not that there's anything wrong with being Ginger, but it's just, I'm not, you know? Got into their music after Ginger, but at that point, I really got into their music to the point that they're a group that I would buy merch for now. But regardless, I'm excited to hear it because Kevin was going off on the singles, and honestly, I'm much happier with it being this length now that I'm aware that the group might not be on this. And this will be the first ever new Brockhampton album reaction that I've done on my channel. The headphones are on, let's just get into it. Track number 1 on The Family, Take It Back. After dark the riot starts with Ugly Good and Bubba Sparks. Oh my god, I'm so early reacting to this album that the producer credits aren't on Genius right now.
You gotta love it though.
The production does really feel like college dropout Kanye.
Had the whole screaming, and the niggas too. Kept the trunks beating, brought the noise through. Praise God, cause that man taught me how to be myself and get my niggas off that couch. The group, if we talking about groups, we still top 10. I had to say,
you know, this might be one of the, what people would brand as one of the whitest statements I've ever made, but in my personal opinion, right, I know I've said I'm a relatively new Brockhampton fan, only been listening to them for a couple of years, but they made such a big impact on me and I enjoyed them so much instantly that I personally would say that, to me, Brockhampton is the best hip-hop group. If you would classify them as a hip-hop group, I would. They're the best hip-hop group to me since Wu-Tang Clan.
Saturate the streets with some classics, then we went #1 like magic. Had to wash that blue paint off so I could be free. Merlin been around since day 1. When he dropped out of college, we was there for him.
Merlin.
Somewhere in the skies, you know we'll reunite. We'll have a cookout, you can bring your kids back. The next chapter is everything, that's my promise to y'all.
Oh, this is how you do short songs, man. The short length of the tracks feels extremely satisfying because the production is so rich and beautiful sounding, and the rapping from Kevin is super energetic on everything I've heard from this so far. Like, he sounds fired up. I love that. This album so far, it really seems almost in a sense like this is his breakup album for the group that he was in. God, that was nice. Had to saturate the streets with some classics. I wish I got into Brockhampton's music in 2017 because they dropped 3 albums in 2017 of the quality of the Saturation trilogy. Absolutely nuts, man. So let's move on to track number 2, RZA, named after the frontman of the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yo, I know I got to be, come on, more like RZA, be, come on. Now I'm finna lose my home, so never diss where you come from. I'm feeling new, my hate for you is through the things that we went through. I wish that I could do it all over again. This is what I do whenever I feel excited. I love it. My mama asking me, Ian, why don't you keep the band together?
You know, it's so funny, y'all on RCA, right? That's what Wu was on.
RZA at the end of the track too, that's nice. Okay, RZA was super smooth as well. Very similar vibe to the first track. Once again, it's Kevin, you know, mourning the end of Brockhampton. I do wonder what it was specifically that made them kind of come to the decision to end the group. It was nice to hear Kevin rapping about his mum on this, and it sounds like he's talking about their relationship being stronger now, which is nice. Again, I don't know who produced this because the song credits aren't on Spotify yet, but man, you sound nice. You sound very fucking good. Let's move on to the next one. Track number 3, Gold Teeth. Okay, bit of a different vibe on this one.
Only made this to get out the deal partly. So don't ask me if the group's still talking. Did we suffer too many motherfucking albums? problems? Probably. Shell tacos, Blanco on the rock store. Woke niggas on my cock though. It's a dream to see them. I'm the richest nigga you ever seen fall off.
The beat on that one was definitely heavier, a darker vibe to it. That thumping, steady kick and the vocal sample in the background, it had a very ominous feeling to it. There was a couple interesting lyrics that I noticed there from Kevin. Only made this to get out the deal partly. And I guess that's kind of related to what he said on Big Pussy, where he said the label needed 35 minutes of music. So I guess this is just, he's putting out a Kevin Abstract solo album, giving them the 35 minutes of music that they need, and that's why this is labeled as a Brockhampton album. A way to kind of get out of it, I guess. I'm still not exactly sure how it's all going to work out, and if that other Brockhampton album is dropping at midnight, we'll see. But so far, I'm really liking what this is doing. It's moving fast, but it still feels really like full. Track number 4, Big Pussy. It was the first single from the album. Sadly, it was not a reference to Big Pussy Bon Pensiero from The Sopranos, but that's okay. It's still a great song, great verses from Kevin, great beat switch. This one does have production credits on it. It was produced by Nick Velez and Bareface, so they did an amazing job with this one.
Oh wow, Big Pussy.
Big Kendrick for free vibes from that.
The truth is everything we need, can we agree with that? The group is over without being on the album. Stop asking me, it's bad enough for me to deal with this tragedy on my own, Ooh boy, you still a bitch boy, you ain't doing shit boy. Do it, whatever the fuck I'm supposed to do, yeah. My shenanigans no surprise, we ain't get sued, yeah. My everyday lifestyle ain't nothing but a hustle. Can't nobody tell me shit, I made it out the jungle.
This part in particular kind of reminds me of Unlocked by Denzel. Amazing track, yeah, I really liked that one. I remember the first time I heard it, when it got to the second verse and there was the beat switch and then Kevin's rapping over it in his more raspy voice. The first time I listened, I was kind of like, is that still Kevin? Even though it didn't sound like anyone else from the group, it sounded kind of different to how he usually sounds on the Brockhampton albums, and it was just cool to hear that vocal variation and that intensity from him. This album is definitely a good sign for the Kevin Abstract solo career that I'm assuming is about to happen. So let's move on to the next one, track number 5, All That. This is one of the longer ones on the album, believe it or not, at 2 minutes and 46 seconds long, so let's see how it goes. Oh, and this one, it says on Genius it was produced by Bareface. That man has got some production talents, holy shit.
Back when we were still outside, church next door, we couldn't afford the tithes.
Sounds a little bit Bone Thugs now.
Fast forward, everything feels backwards. Everything went left at the Brit Awards. Mr. Mir, so me and Dom kept fighting him. He almost pushed me off the edge. Record deal wasn't helping either. Blowing up ain't all that at all.
This one, it sounds super beautiful, but it's definitely an emotional one too. We got more insight into the breakup of the group in the second verse as well. Saying stuff like, you know, Amir leaving the group and Kevin missing Amir caused tension between him and Dom because there was a lot there. I don't even know the full details about it. Basically, the whole thing was never mix friendships with business, you know? Because yeah, from this, it just sounds like Brockhampton was a big group of friends that, you know, felt like a family, and they kind of got chewed up by all the industry stuff, you know, signing a deal, the fallouts that can happen when you have so many different members in the group. And especially when they went through something like they did with Amir, things used to seem so great when you listen to a song like Lamb and you watch the music video for it, and then it's like, it's led to this where everything that happened with them just kind of slowly broke the group apart. This has been one of my favorite ones so far. So let's continue. Track number 6, Back from the Road. FL Studio type beat.
My parents ain't Ralph Simmons yet, these dickies from Walmart. Tour bus smoked out, trilogy popping, it's awesome. It's gonna take a second for y'all to get rid of me. When I get back from the road, love when they sing these songs, and you turn into my home. So silence like make believe. gonna see my aunt in Florida, screaming in the lobby.
That one did feel short. That was probably the first one on this project that I wasn't super crazy about. That's because with the other songs I liked how there was a lot of meat to them, and you know, this one was a little bit less meaty. It was a decent little chill song. You know, we started off with just the drums, and then the instrumental started to build up a little bit as it went on, but it still stayed very mellow. But yeah, Back from the Road, it was fine. It wasn't a bad song or anything, but not particularly crazy about that one. So let's move on to the next one, track number 7, Basement, and this is even shorter, at 1 minute and 13 seconds long. So let's go.
Back to the basis. Back to the basement. I don't know you, nigga. I don't know you, nigga. You definitely ain't my family. Bitch, you acting nosy. You acting like the police. You don't know my mom. You ain't got my telephone. I don't know you, nigga. Come on. I don't know you, nigga. Come on.
That was a super quick one as well. This one with a darker, heavier instrumental and more of a banger type vibe. I feel like with these past couple of tracks, Back from the Road and Basement, they haven't been bad by any means. And I like Basement a bit more than Back from the Road, but these ones, because they are so short and a little bit more repetitive in certain ways, they don't feel as, you know, full and complete to me as the first 5 songs did. The way the second verse started was pretty fun though. It was a fairly fun song, just not anything that hit me super strong. So let's move on to the next one, track number 8, Good Time. Oh, these songs are out of order on Genius. Track number 8 is Southside.
It's my life, so what? My folks are rad, you know I do that, yeah. Music so loud, feel stupid, yeah. The homie, yeah, know me, yeah. Look at me, point and stare, going to a new year with the vision hella clear. Shit that we was on when music was not money. Bitch, boy, quit acting like you know me.
I feel like these last few have been so quick that they don't really have time to hit. Maybe part of it is under the reaction setting, you know, pausing in between each song to speak about each one. Maybe it would flow together a bit better just listening to the album without any pauses, which is the way albums are meant to be listened to, but you know, this is a first reaction. Gotta give my thoughts. Maybe it'll flow a bit better like that. The way it is right now, I don't have much to say about the past 3. Let's see if it picks up again with the next song. We've got track number 9, Good Time.
The show is over, it ended overseas. Take them plaques down. I got a chain now, I got a lane now. I changed my style a while ago, and it's still hurt that we don't hang out. Ride forever, but I guess forever don't last too long. Get it in the hood, what's the good time?
I be doing Zoom calls talking with niggas about personal shit. I'm like, yo, make sure we filming this. Keep the camera rolling. That's a toxic relationship.
So Good Time was another one reminiscing on Brockhampton. The good times, as he says. This is really just starting to close off this chapter. We went back again to the more soulful sort of sample-based sound and production on this track. Sounded really nice. Really liked the sound of it. A big theme of this so far has been about how sort of commodifying your friendship, turning it into something that makes you money, and constantly thinking about it in that way can just eat away at the friendship itself and make it fall apart. I did like that one a bit more. So let's go on to the next song, track number 10 on the family, 37th. Either the songs are out of order on Spotify or they're out of order on Genius. I don't know which one it is.
I end up back on 37th Street.
Out in Brooklyn with Karen making these damn songs. This is my vacation, this is my Cancun. Linked up with Amir to see what he been up to. I praise God for the days that we been through. And can we get the band back together and be civil again? Empathy's a bitch, man. Mix that bitch with some shame.
Another more reflective and introspective one here. I'm wondering if Blueface, fucking Blueface. I'm wondering if Bareface produced on every single track on this album. Damn, let's hear a Blueface produced Brockhampton album. Let's go. It's so fitting too. The paint. Oh man. I'm onto something here. It's just interesting to hear all of Kevin's thoughts on this. It's kind of sad in a way to see it all fall apart, but I imagine it's even worse to be involved with it. Like, on this song in particular, it sounds like Kevin's really been struggling with the breakup with the band. Getting over you, it ain't been easy for me, so now I'm working through the pain, getting fucked up in between. Hopefully making this album itself was kind of cathartic for him. So let's move on to the next one. Track number 11 is Boyband, so let's get into it.
We always start outside of the lines, filming videos outside sunrise. We did an album in a weekend. And Joe mixed it by the weekend. No think I know I need to go so I can reach new highs. I can reach new highs.
That was definitely Bareface's voice in there, I feel like. Boyband was solid as well. We got another, a little intro from RZA on this one. Kevin said on the song, we did an album in a week and Joba mixed it by the weekend. I'm wondering if he's referring to multiple albums there or if there's a particular one he was talking about there. On the Genius annotation, it says that Brockhampton recorded Iridescence in about 10 days. I think Iridescence personally is a slightly underrated album in Brockhampton's discography. I probably will do a video ranking all of their albums one day, so I don't want to spoil it too much. I think that Iridescence, I would put it above the first Saturation album. We are flying through this, but it's been a super interesting listen so far. Track number 12 on this project, Any Way You Want Me.
You can take me
Okay.
any way you want me.
It's got like a kind of live at a bar performance type of feel.
Still my best friend, even if I don't need you. I know you hate me, but what if I could change?
That's such a toxic bar. It's like, I'm always into the toxic relationships. Brockhampton.
Interesting. I feel like we got a little bit of a metaphorical thing going on with this track, with the lyrics of the song being directed, you know, at the group of Brockhampton. Like he's talked about all throughout this project so far, about it sort of turning into a toxic relationship. That one was a cool little song. A change of pace for the album as well. There's nothing else I would say that really sounds like that on here. Track number 13 is The Family.
But I gotta hold it down for my new fan, man. I gotta hold it down and hold my stance, man. As the checks grew, it became harder to lead. Everybody got an ego now, imagine being me. So one day I looked up like, damn, you almost better than me. Y'all don't know shit about me. Quit talking shit.
I should've called you sober.
Goddamn voice, man. God damn, I love me some Bareface vocals, man. Some of my favorite tracks from the Saturation trilogy are Waste and Summer and Team. There's nothing else that quite feels like those songs to me, you know? It was a really good song. I really liked that one. It feels like Iridescence was the point where the group kind of started to enter its decline in terms of not the quality of the music, but like the friendships. Kevin was saying here competition started off so healthy till one day I looked up like, damn, you're almost better than me. They kind of left their egos out of it at first when they were making music, or tried to not have an ego about it. It was like healthy, friendly competition. But then you have stuff on Iridescence where Kevin is, you know, in his verses, he was saying, I've been feeling defeated, like I'm the worst in the boy band, you know? Like, at that point, maybe it was starting to feel like he was competing with the other members. But yeah, another great beat for this one. Again, very consistent with the sound of the majority of this project that we've heard. And one of the longer ones, so it did feel really full and complete, and we got a little Bareface outro there, which was super nice. Let's move on to the next song on the album, at least on the Spotify release. It's track number 14, Prayer.
God, please don't make me grow up. God, please don't make me grow up. Fuck them fans and niggas make me throw up. Fuck them shows, nigga, club. I love these niggas so much. God, please don't make me grow up. It's solid blue, that's all I knew. You know where to find me. I do good. You know where to find me.
That was a beautiful song, man. I like that. That one was called Prayer. We had some organs going throughout the song. Felt very, very church-like. I feel like Kevin and maybe Brockhampton as a whole definitely have maybe sort of like a love-hate relationship with certain parts of their fan base. A lot of this just generally feels like it happened as well, not only because of tensions within the group, but pressures from the outside as well, with so many eyes on them. That's kind of what I got from the first verse on this one. Prayer was really good. Track number 15, My American Life.
It's just my American life. And I got nothing to say, and I got nothing to say, and I got nothing to say. Sometimes I think about dying, but then I think of those days. Sometimes I wish we could speak my American life.
you all. Let's get it.
That was another one of the shorter ones on the album, but I really liked that one, My American Life. We had just a simple guitar-based instrumental acoustic guitar. Started off pretty slow and then it just started going crazy. It sounded pretty intense. For what that one was, I thought it was really enjoyable. So let's move on to track number 16. I have heard this one because it was one of the singles, The Ending.
Back when I had a fro still. First moved to LA, my daddy still pay my phone bill. I'm thinking, man, one day we all gonna be some superstars. This is the most corrupted vision. I turned my friendship into a business. Getting tired of letting culture try to tell me how to live my life.
The Ending was a great single too, and again covers a decent amount of ground with a short verse. Again, similar to the Kanye style production that you get earlier on in the album. Just a great song. That was The Ending. Now let's move into the ending of the album, track number 17, the longest one on here, 4.5 minutes long, and it's simply called Brockhampton. I wonder who made this song. Was it Brock or Hampton?
I miss the band already. Fuck that. I miss my old man already. Roadrunner sessions was a blessing. Russell Healing. I was sober, buzz cut, re-recording it for hours. Till I had that verse feeling rowdy. But still be a pop star without making radio songs. I wish I knew the day we signed it would change shit. Tech Dip, the last one to feel true. Me and Jabari had a fight that changed our relationship. When you yelling at your brothers, it gets dangerous. Honestly, there were issues before Roadrunner. Iridescence, I wasn't really there for my brothers. I wish one of you niggas would just call me, man. We was an army, man. Remember the plans we had? Remember, I wouldn't take nothing back. Even if I could rewrite the past. This next chapter's everything that we want it to be. The show's over. Get out your seats.
And I can't fake it anymore.
There we go. That was the last track on The Family, titled Brockhampton. You couldn't have closed it out any better. The longest song on the album, just entirely all about the group. You had Kevin at the end talking to, you know, all the members of the group, talking a lot about the Roadrunner recording sessions here, which was really interesting to hear a bit of background behind that. And he did kind of say, like, what I was thinking earlier. He sort of confirmed that here the Iridescence was where the issues started to creep up, and it was when they signed, that is when the issues really started coming to light. But I think that was a great way to close it. Beautiful instrumental. I think Kevin really just laid it all out on this song, and it was really heartfelt. I'm not sure if it's been 100% confirmed that there is a new Brockhampton album as a group dropping at midnight tonight. If it is true, I feel like it almost would have made more sense to drop that and then drop this album, because dropping a Brockhampton album after this feels a little odd if that is what's going to happen, just because of the fact that this really feels like it did seal off that chapter completely. Regardless, I thought The Family was pretty nice. It's the first Kevin Abstract solo album that I've ever listened to, and I think he did a really solid job of carrying it. There was a lot of variety throughout it, and I think a lot of songs that I'm going to come back and replay a bunch on here. Let's go through my favorite and least favorite tracks in The Family before I talk about it a little bit more. I mean, I think I gave most of my thoughts throughout the project, but regardless, my favorites on here. I think off of that first listen, my favorites were Take It Back, RZA, Gold Teeth, Big Pussy, All That, Prayer, The Family, and Brockhampton. I think that's my favorites from my first listen, but even then I'm so uncertain about that. As for least favorites from it, there's only a couple that I would say were my least favorites, and they weren't necessarily downright bad tracks, just the ones that I don't feel like left much of an impact on me from this first listen. Those would be Back from the Road and Southside. I think The Family was a really solid album, and I really enjoyed it. I think it was a great way to get all of Kevin Abstract's thoughts on the group out there. He covered a lot of ground. We got a lot of insight into why the group is actually breaking up. It's a very heartfelt, personal album from Kevin. I don't think I have too much more to say about that. I loved the Kanye influence that was present on a lot of the songs. The production all throughout it was amazing. I can't wait for the production credits to show up so I can see who actually did all of this. On a lot of the rapping, Kevin sounded fired up and energetic. music. On some of the singing as well, Kevin sounded really great too. I really liked the singing on, I think it was like Any Way You Want Me, Prayer, and My American Life. A lot of this was really good and I enjoyed it. That's pretty much what I think of The Family by Brockhampton from my first listen. Let me know how you feel about this album down in the comments below, and you can click on the screen right there to check out the last reaction on this channel to what is probably now my album of the year so far, I Didn't Mean to Haunt You. Shout out to my Patreon supporters over there for their support, with a big shout out to my biggest supporters, and those are Big Daddy Foe, Griffin Upchurch, I Am Region, Diego Victoriano, and Ryan Shadow 507.